Welcome back and thank you for joining us on the POLITY once again. And with me in the studio today is Atiku Abubakar, and a political analyst, of course, to analyze the subsequent administration changes. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. I'd like to quickly take us back to the past 2 weeks since we've had our President Tinubu as our president. A lot has, of course, happened from fuel subsidy to the removal of the CBN governor. And now this week, we had the suspension of Bauer, that's the EFCC chairman. Do you think this is, some persons have said, I like to use the Nigerian word, initial gragra, or do you think this is just a stepping stone to what we should expect for this administration?
Of course, it's a stepping stone.
Okay.
This administration means a business.
Okay.
It's not going to be the way it was during
the
presidency of Muhammadu Buhari.
Okay.
And that happened because it was more of a family and friends affairs. You have to belong to a certain tribe, or you are a direct family member of the former president to get appointment to in a position that you can, that is very serious and important. But now the presidency of Ahmed Bola Tinubu is beginning to change that now, and that is why we are seeing all the things that are happening. I had suggested before now that all, in my own opinion, all the health of security agencies need to go. Not only to go, they need to be investigated. All of them are culpable because to the best of my knowledge and in my own opinion, they are responsible for all the insecurity in this country. That's why, because once there's insecurity in the country, there will be increase in budgetary provision for the security agencies, and that will make them go away with a lot of money. I know what I'm saying. This allegation is weighty. Do
you have evidence to back up all of this? Or do you have
the evidences are everywhere. It is clear. You cannot have illiterates kidnapping people. We have agencies with the best of gadgets, and then illiterates who don't know anything like kidnapping. What evidence do you need again? Remove all of them. Take civilians to manage the affairs of the security. Civilians will be able to do better, because it's just corruption. That's the only thing.
So are you trying to say now that our trained army, they are not fit enough to actually safeguard the lives and properties of Nigerians right now? I
think I need to be very categorical here.
Okay.
The army, Nigeria army, to the best of my knowledge, I have always rated them to be the best army in the whole world. That is how I rate them, because I watch their trainings on YouTube. Sometimes I feel as if it's human abuse because of the things they go through. Why are they failing? Those men at the top, they are the crooks. They are the crooks. I was at a joint where people were discussing. They said they sold a land to a colonel. And they sold a fake land to him, collected his money. They say he can't come because how did he get the money? So the people they dupe now are the health of security agencies. Those that are at the top, because they know they can't come to challenge. He's a colonel in the Nigerian army. I heard people were saying that no, that man, we collected his money and we know he cannot come because a colonel cannot have such a money to even buy land. So if he tries to do anything, we make it public. And of course, according to them, that he didn't come. So that is the problem we are facing. What President Bola Tinubu is doing a wonderful job. He should be taking them unawares like this, so that all of them, before they know, as it is now, if you attend meeting with President Bola Tinubu, the next thing you are going to be sacked.
Of course, because there is the fear of the unknown right now. Because rumor has it that CBN governor had a meeting with him right before he was suspended, and of course picked up by DSS, and the same thing was applicable to Bauer. But then, speaking of Bauer, I'd like us to lay more emphasis on that, given that even had subsequent issues as head of Economic Financial Crime Commission, having issues of laundering money. There has been rumors about him taking a sum of 223 million naira to pay for hotel for him and his wife. And then how do you cope that? What book do you write that in? I'd like to get your own overview about this generally. Do you think even picking him up is enough to actually do justice to what these people have done to Nigerians?
I had said before, I was even mobilizing people for a protest for the removal of Bauer before he was removed. That is what I have been doing in Abuja, trying to convince people so that we go on a protest for his removal. And now that it has happened like this, you see, it should not be only Bauer. Even his father needs to be investigated. Why do I say so? You went on a pilgrimage with your father, with your family members, wives and children. His father does not know that his son cannot earn such an amount of money. He stayed in Sheraton Hotel in Mecca and paid. It was alleged that he paid about $300,000. And if you take $1 to be 700 naira, that is 210 million naira.
Yeah.
Bauer, since he joined EFCC, if he's not a criminal, he cannot get that amount of money. So I said in an interview here that people who are in prison, the majority of the innocent people are in prison. The criminals are in police force, EFCC, and other security agencies. So most of the people who are in the security agencies, majority of them are supposed to go to the prison. Those in the prison now are supposed to be out because they are the innocent people. So that is the situation of Nigeria. In most cases, they frame people up. Bauer, as EFCC chairman, was living very large. How do you spend just hotel bill? You are spending over 210 million. But it's not only Bauer. Majority of them are like that. Almost all of them, they are like that. So
there should be the fear of the unknown now, right now, because we don't know who is next.
Yes, that is how it should be. Okay. And I did not vote for the president. Okay. But I am 100% in support of what the president is doing. Because he means well for the country. These people just want to bring the country down. To me, they are more wicked. They are as wicked as the devil.
But we have to take it down to the fact that this, the sitting president, that's President Tinubu right now, is from the All Progressives Congress, and the former president, that's President Muhammadu Buhari, is of course from the All Progressive Congress. So is that to say that, is there not this thing to say cheap of the old block, where you cannot gather birds together, they say birds of a feather flock together, and whether we like it or not, all of these people are still in the same carcass. So how come President Muhammadu Buhari had so much of these people under his cabinet, and now how does President Tinubu fix all of this right now?
The last administration, people buy certain, whatever position you want, you buy in the last administration. If I had 100 million, I would have probably been a minister. Because you buy. You want to be a DG, you buy.
About, do you have evidences to prove all of
that? That is why you see people who did not participate in the activities of the party. They were even outside the country. The dumbest people occupying position. These are the evidences you put, you gather together to know. Because, okay, if it was they didn't buy, how did Sabiu, the nephew of President Muhammadu Buhari, became a billionaire? I was far richer than him before he became a P8 or whatever position. Because it was family and friends affair. I was far richer than him. But today, he can buy completely. If they put it on sale, he can buy it. He's a multi-billionaire. A billionaire in all currencies of the world now. So these are the people who sell the appointments. All you need to do is to meet them. And if they did not sell, how did they make the money? These are the things that were going on then. Of course, Tinubu was not completely among their camp, because they even worked against him. Okay. I don't say the currency change. I call it the coloration of the naira that Emefiele did. He colored the naira so as to prevent Asiwaju from emerging as the president. That was the reason. So these people need what the president is doing. He's on track. All of them need to be investigated. He should keep suspending them. Every week we should be having those at the top. We should be seeing about 2-3 suspension given to people. That is what I expect from the president for now.
Okay.
Yes. If he doesn't do that, Nigeria can never move forward. The last administration, President Muhammadu Buhari, I call him a quota system general. Because it's not possible for the Nigerian army, which I know, to produce a general like Muhammadu Buhari, who was deceived by virtually all the people around him. The last administration was more or less a collection of the bad men and women in Nigeria put together. So that is the only thing he has done to help this country.
Okay, but we never can tell, because even the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabinet is not full yet. We do not know everyone. But I'd like to take us back to something that happened yesterday, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reminded state governors and other members of the National Economic Council of the enormous nation-building task ahead of them. Are we looking at a government that will be able to hold people accountable? Of course, because given that President Muhammadu Buhari's regime, everybody was just whole lying, and it was just mere talks, and then the president himself fully ignored Nigerians. But then taking a look at Bola Tinubu's regime now, he has come out to say, oh, this forced the student loan, even though some persons have said, oh, there should be some policies, or there should have been some steps to be taken before these policies are actually implemented. Do you actually agree with that?
Yes, he's on track, but I don't agree with the procedure which the president has taken. Even the fuel subsidy, the removal of the subsidy.
What do you think he should have done better?
Things should have been put in place. Let me start with the fuel subsidy.
Okay.
He should have at least giving some persons licenses, or encourage some persons, individual, to even build the refineries.
Okay.
And those who have diverted the funds meant for the refineries in the last administration should be forced to repair the refineries. It doesn't need to take a naira out of the federation account for the repairing of refineries. President Muhammadu Buhari gave more money to them to loot. Now he's the President Ahmed Bola Tinubu should call those people, so that the monies they have looted should be used to repair the refineries. So that's what he should have done while the repairing is ongoing, and then you try to see how Dangote will be able to complement before you remove the subsidy completely, because it is very difficult for most Nigerians now, I must admit. But the best thing is to remove the subsidy, but the removal, the procedure is just what I do not, I'm not comfortable with. And the student loan should be made, in my own opinion, not only the student loan. Something should be done to be able to see how we finance the education sector seriously and reduce the amount being paid in the university and polytechnics and colleges of education. These are all these things are very important, so that people can at least relieve some persons.
I like that you've spoken about that, because given that today is International Day of the Child, of the African Child, and then the theme is Rights of the Child in Digital Environment. And then before you came, we had a guest on the program that said you cannot talk about a child having access to digital environment when they do not even have basic, they do not have access to basic needs right now. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, I agree with that. I sit down sometimes and begin to blame myself, because I feel that I have cheated the children I have given birth to this world. Because you bring children to this world in Nigeria, you have cheated the child, and you need to apologize to that child, because nothing is working. There's nothing. So as it is now, if we go, we are not even a serious people in this country. That I have always said. We are not a serious people. And I don't know why other nations even take us serious. When they criticize us and say that we are more or less like animals, I agree. If not, how will our leaders allow over 10 million children are out of school? We are not talking about any digital. People cannot even read and write. Those in secondary school, the simplest fraction, they cannot resolve. They will, and then they will have A1 in mathematics, English, but they cannot speak this sentence. Yet they have A1 in English. So the education sector is collapsed completely. The primary, secondary, the president needs to look into that seriously. Something needs to be done. All they do is to cheat during exam. So in the nearest future, we will never have professionals again. We will not have, because they are not being trained. Some are completely out of school.
Out of school, yeah.
Some persons are being paid. In this, I must say that I don't know the role of the traditional rulers. They just sit down, drive Rolls Royce, and they want people to lie down for them, greet them. Either you are emir, you are oba, you are chief. That to me is nonsense. They are not doing anything, because it isn't in their domain that you have children don't go to school. In the north, you see millions of children roaming about. They don't go to school. These people are not saying anything, because they have money to send their own children abroad. But I see that they have a very low thinking mentality, because the same children you send abroad will come back. This once you have left uneducated, probably of course we are seeing we have kidnappers everywhere. So they will still kidnap your children when they come back to Nigeria, because they will still come. So that is the major problem in the country now. The president needs to do something about that. You cannot have over 10 million Nigerians children out of school. It is worse. The situation is worse, and insecurity will continue. Yes. If you want to solve the issue of insecurity, you must fund education and make let people have to at least secondary school level. All Nigerians, there should not be exception. There should not be one Nigerian who will not go to secondary school at least.
Don't you think literacy is a weapon in Nigeria, where that is what most politicians, let me not say all of them, don't you think that is actually a weapon, literacy and poverty?
Yes, not only politicians, even the traditional institutions. They know that those who are educated, there are certain things they will never do. I believe in what Thomas Paine said, that as all men are originally created equal, no one by birth should have a right to set up his own family in perpetual preference to all others by birth. And though himself might have some decent degree of honor, but his descendants might not have. So when people set up their families up like that, in order to maintain that, they will need illiterates. Because those who are educated, an educated mind, there is a level an educated mind will never descend to. So they need, the politicians, the traditional institutions need illiterates. They are the ones, they know what they are doing. Okay, will I go and lie down for anybody? I will never lie down for anybody. It's not out of arrogance. Because you are a human being like me. If you say you are a king, what king are you? Because you were born in a particular family, you say you are a king. I'm a king also. You are a king wherever you belong to. I'm a king in my family. So why should I lie down for you? Because I went to school. So I can think for myself. It's not just for you to acquire a degree. Going to school is very important. Some persons think that, so that I can work. In short, I wouldn't have collected my degree certificate, because at the beginning I said I don't need it. All I want is for me to be able to think. Okay,
wrap it up. What note would you like to leave with Nigerians right now, given the current situation of the country?
Pardon?
What would you like to tell Nigerians now, given the current situation of the country? What note would you would you like to leave with them? We
should continue to support the president and pray for the president, because he's on track.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us on the program today. All right. You've heard our guests continue to support the president. That's President Tinubu. And that is where we bring to an end the Polity for today. And of course, this week, thank you, our viewers, for joining us on the program today. And of course, all through the week. And I remain Mercy Babajide. Do well to join us next week, same time, same station, and I remain Mercy Babajide. Bye.